Hello, friends. Izzy Giuliano here. Yeah, it's time for some crypto price charts. Let's take a look at the Bitcoin price chart first. Well, I hope you're doing phenomenal things with your time. But right now, we're going to take a look at some BTC price as the weekly price chart. And basically, the price has dropped below the 200-week moving average again. Last week was a big bearish engulfing type of candle here, where dropped below the 200-week moving average, and now basically sit in this zone of precipice where you have previous support potentiality there with the all-time high of 2017. Well, now it looks like further consolidation after breaking above the shorter term trend line, downtrending resistance line. So now we're on the other side of that, and we'll see where that leads. But for now, we can hide this one. Let's hide that. All right. So yeah, then we look on the daily, and it's a question of where will it get its support? Is it going to find some mid-range support here and return higher, or is this Ichimoku region too thick? I get the sense that if you clear out some of these negative momentums and return to positive, I do see maybe towards end of September type thing into October can go for a move higher. But you're so close to the lower end of this price action that it's like, wow, either you hope for a good sideways chop, or there's a good, real strong chance of like breaking down these levels decently. So we'll see what ends up happening, but on the weekly time scale, it's definitely calling for more time after this big breakdown of the 200-week moving average. Doesn't mean that it has to come to the lower levels down here, but it's on the table. The other option is, again, that chopping action before coming a bit higher to test and see, maybe deviate above the 20-week moving average again, and let's see where you go from there. But for now, we're looking at some weakness on a weekly time frame. And yeah, we'll see where it's able to find some support going forward in the next coming month. Okay, so that's BTC. Now let's move over to, well, Pirate Chain, we've lost some CoinEx data. We're going to take it from KuCoin just to see here R against BTC, and just to recognize like this one, it could go either way. You know, the thing you've got going for it is locally here, you've got a higher low right here so far, but you're just working on it, and who knows where it goes from here. It could go either way. You're definitely at key support zone, and the concern is that you have another lower high after this previous high locally. So yeah, it could definitely go either way, and we're going to see what happens. But this is basically the edge of the cliff right there on that level of price action. All right, well, that's Pirate Chain on the weekly. Yeah, could go either way for sure. KMD, if we look at this one on the weekly, let's just take a quick look at the KMD on the weekly to look at some of these horizontal levels and see that, okay, we are definitely still below these previous 2020 lows. But we are still, over the course of the previous month or even 5 weeks or so, we are looking at a price that's still above this kind of support range, which then broke down further. So let's find out what ends up happening here. But it is at least giving us some relative support and strength. So let's see how this continues to play out. Yeah, it'll be good if you can hold above these levels, above 20-week moving average. You might get some further price action to the upside and challenge these levels again up here in the high teens of the 1,000 Satoshi level. Okay, cool. So that's KMB against BTC, and we're going to move over to the ADA price chart against the BTC. All right. What we see here is that we also in ADA got that breakdown. So I'm going to hide this right now. I don't know if this is that was the best case scenario, but as we see, there's a breakdown and it's still struggling to hold that 20-week moving average as support, but it is still holding it. So there is potential there to stay above it and to continue move higher. But right now with this top here and this next top here, it looks like, you know, you're breaking down this kind of trend here on a shorter time frame. So so you're breaking that down. It's going to take a bit longer. You might even make your way back down to these levels, down to retest the 200-week moving average, but at least you're far enough above it. That's the lower end of the Bollinger Band and all that. So if you have to come down there, you hope that you can hold that as support and then build that as this longer term accumulatory base. Anyway, we'll see what ends up happening here, but yeah, some weakness here bearishly on the ADA price. And if we compare it with the previous action, yeah, it definitely could take more time and maybe needs to go lower. We'll find out. But so far is doing its best to support at these levels. But yeah, looks like you're on the weaker end of it for now. All right, that's the ADA price chart against BTC. Okay, it's been a little while. Let's just run through these here. We've got THETA over here. And deviated above the 200-week. Now we're still below that 200-week and below the 20-week. And so it's just looking still on the weaker end of things. And momentum looks like it's turning over some more. So let's see where the price chart, what it ends up looking like into 2023, which is right here. So we'll see where the price goes. Okay, that's THETA. And then here, let's grab DERO. We haven't really looked at that. Are we getting the data on the DERO? Well, it looks like it's kind of still flat and it's below these support levels. If this is accurate at all, then yeah, it's kind of on the weaker end of things. If we were to draw a midline here, it's like it's getting resisted by that as well. It's kind of that 20-week moving average zone anyway. So looks like we could be having some further spill in the price to the lower end on DERO. Okay, origin trail TRAC against BTC. So we broke out of this downtrending zone of resistance. Fine. Now price is struggling to break above the 20-week moving average here in yellow. As you see, the price volatility basically got rejected there. And yeah, it's kind of breaking down below it, still above the 200-week. So we'll see what kind of support and accumulation range we start seeing with origin trail against BTC, or does it need to show more weakness and dump even further down? We'll see, but this, like the 200-week is the first level, 200-week Bollinger Band area. And then if it dumps further into this boxy range, horizontal range here, then that's the next kind of level to watch for. But it'll be interesting to see how this one plays out in the next few months as well against BTC, because it's, you know, it came down pretty strong and now it has. Is it just going to go flat right away, or is it going to do a bit more choppiness in its ranging, or is it just going to, you know, redistribute here towards the downside bigger? Let's find out. That's going to be cool to watch. And that's origin trail against BTC TRAC. Okay, then we get to BNB, big BNB. On the BNB side of things, it's looking relatively quite strong. Yeah, let's hide this one for now. We broke out of this triangular price action. I'm going to hide this one for now too. And looking like last week was a nice candle with a strong close in the candle. However, BNB tends to have strong candle closes and still be able to dump further in price regardless. So, you know, not always going to get a topping candle like this one. Although, yeah, the BNB does, although it does come down. I mean, look at this price action is quite strong, relatively speaking. So this is against BTC. How long is this positive momentum going to go, and what kind of shape does it end up playing out over time here? But yeah, after breaking through this horizontal all-time high type of level here, it is just relatively strong here. So that's very nice to see for BNB. All right, let's move over to Link. What is Link doing? What do you think? Well, it is, ooh, it is playing above the 20-week moving average. Rejected at the top of the Bollinger Band. And yeah, let's see if it can find a range of accumulation of support. This type of range here, even lower end of the Bollinger Band is down here. So, you know, even if it stays between this orange and green, that's great. So we're going to look for some support between this orange and this green. That would be the strongest thing. Otherwise, maybe it's going to range sideways until the end of the year, you know, down, up, whatever, and then go further down into the new year. And others might do the same type of choppy sideways action and then further dump. Okay. Now, let us go to, it feels like each week, you know, we take the previous data and then we reassess, and sometimes it's similar to what was previously considered and thought, and sometimes it changes the thinking, and we try and be flexible with that, I guess, right? Just watching what's happening, but letting the thoughts be flexible. And yeah, XRP against BTC is just slowly hovering and getting over the 20-week moving average, getting slowly trying to get out of this downtrending resistance, trying to stay above this horizontal level here. So we'll see how this plays out. I mean, how much more positive momentum is left in this, or is it going to see some further downside first? Interesting. All right, we'll keep watching that. XRP. And then we have the ETH BTC. ETH BTC, Ethereum is showing as well a return after breaking out of the downtrending trend, breaking to the upside, but still having some difficulty at the top of this Bollinger Band, at the previous highs, lower than the highest high. And so now we look for this kind of the zone, or at, you know, at worst here, Ichimoku cloud and 20-week moving average to hold as support. How much more positive momentum remains. And yeah, you really want to hold that as support and build something to go higher. Otherwise, as a longer term chart, that would be pretty weak. But the fact that you're here now after having these highs here peaking and even here lower high and break down here, that's quite a decent sideways range of time. So maybe this is strong enough that it will hold at these levels and then go higher when it's turn. And then we'll be seeing whether or not you can break these highest of highs from back in 2017, 2018 timeframe. Early, yeah. Well, no, this was, yeah, early 2018, and it was mid 2017 where he had the highest of highs against the BTC pair. Okay, so that'll be interesting to watch on Ethereum, relatively strong. Let's see what's next. Okay, we've got some XMR against BTC. XMR against BTC. This is double topping, if you see what I'm saying. And we are, what, 25 July, 1st. Oh, we've lost some data here as well, right? Okay, so we're not on this one either. That's the XMR. We'll have to catch that somewhere else. If you want XMR, put it in the comments and I will take a look on a different, I'll look at it on TradingView or something like that. Okay. Different platform, different terminal. Okay, so we are at .BTC. Yep, rejected at the 20-week moving average. And then last week was a confirmation of that with this bigger red candle. So we'll see, where do we get some support? Are we going to break below these lows? And it's likely, actually. But yeah, we'll see how this shapes up going forward over this coming month. Next is FTM. FTM. Again, rejecting at the 20-week moving average, similar to DOT. Need to find some support here. Let's find out though. It's good likelihood that it's coming down further. So, yeah, where is the support going to be? That'll be fun to watch. Okay, next, I feel like that's going to be a consideration for a lot of the altcoins, because it looks like they had a bit of strength. They're losing that momentum, getting rejected by key levels and key indicators like the moving average, 20-week moving average and such. And the price action itself is speaking of turn around to the other side. Of course, it could go sideways and then go higher, but right now it has at least lost its momentum that it had back in a couple months ago. So this is Solana, and we are having a long-winded rejection at the 20-week moving average. So where does it go next? We'll see, but it remains below that 20-week moving average. And yeah, you know, momentums are not really speaking of one way or the other, but if anything, they're exhausting their positive momentum and moving towards negative momentum. They're already relatively negative momentum. So we'll see how much more time it actually has of negative momentum. Maybe it's just, you know, into September and then get a decent October or something like that. Who knows? Maybe it's just for Bitcoin that you get the October. Altcoins find yeah, their own shape against Bitcoin. Just like Avalanche getting rejected at the cross between the 20-week moving average and the uptrending support turned now resistance. And it looks like some more rejection here. It looks like more weakness. 20-week moving average is rejecting it, and the price is staying below. And so we'll see how this shapes up. But I would think that this level here is quite important. So we are going to add one more right here, this one right here. Okay, so that's the first level of importance that we'll watch out for. Okay, and we'll get rid of these so that they don't distract us for now. Okay, and we'll even get rid of this one. All right. Okay, there's our first level of importance horizontally for DOT against BTC. We need that for support. Otherwise, we see the price break down below, and then we look for the next level. But it looks like that level will be tested. Now, speaking of which, this level of the Ichimoku cloud has been and continues to be tested by the MATIC price on an intra-week basis. Last week, big red candle with a decent sized wick into the Ichimoku cloud. So now we're going to see, does this downtrending price force, does it affect the price enough to make this a deviation above the above the Ichimoku cloud? If that's the case, then you definitely get more time with MATIC down in these levels. And concerningly enough, it could go even further down. And that's totally possible, So just watch out for that. This is such a key zone of price action right now, in my opinion, a humble opinion for those of you watching. And if you are watching, bless you, wishing you all the best. And yeah, throw a like up there and make a comment in the comment section so I know you're watching, and I hope this is enjoyable and helpful for you. Yeah, so that's MATIC for you. My guess is you break down below each Ichimoku cloud, but you know what? Maybe not. Maybe this is one of those ones that's going to also make some higher highs. We'll see though. This is very interesting to watch. Okay, that's MATIC price against BTC. Okay, we have maybe less than a handful if you have big hands. So let's take a look here with the atom price. Making its way above the 20-week moving average. Let's see if Atom can get to the Ichimoku cloud and top of the Bollinger Band around the is that 60,000 roughly Satoshi level. But yeah, maybe this just becomes a deviation above this level here and it breaks down below. We're going to see clearly this zone here, this kind of horizontal zone of price action between this kind of support level and right here, like you're at this previous all-time significance level of support and resistance zone in this price action. And even here, you know, you've got the price within here with some intra-week volatility getting rejected. And so we're clearly at an important level, and is Atom going to turn around from here? And very likely could. So we're going to leave that there for now and see what happens with this price for the rest of this year. But it's definitely been a lot of positivity to the upside in the recent couple of months. So let's see what kind of slowdown in momentum it will provide. Yeah, awesome. Okay, RUNE against BTC. RUNE against BTC also getting rejected at this key horizontal level, and then at the 20-week moving average. And last week getting a decent sized down candle to rest on this kind of zone we've got going on over here, based on previous highs in the price and support levels. So let's see where this price goes from here. My guess is you come back to test, but if you can hold this horizontal level and bounce here and then go higher, then obviously that's a decently strong price action for RUNE. But yeah, you know, relatively lower high compared to the previous one. That spells a price move down to here, which is lower end of the Bollinger Band and this horizontal zone. So right now you're fighting this in RUNE's price action, this type of downtrend. So either you're going to come to the other side very soon, or you're going to be dumping down further before you can bounce up and over it. So that's definitely a likely trajectory for RUNE, is down to these levels, but you know, you never know, you might kind of squeak your way over. Doesn't even have to be a big bounce, you know, you can just squeak your way over and then find your next support bottoming and have that's decently strong for sure to move to a higher level. All right, so good luck out there to the RUNE against BTC price chart. There's one thing I wanted to show in BNB. So if you're still seeing this, there's something to watch on the daily. We've been tracking on the daily the trend. So on the daily price action, we had this high up here. We're now getting another high here, top of the Bollinger Band. If it doesn't pop higher than that, the likelihood is that the price is going to meet this trend line and break below it, and then fight for its horizontal life around these levels here. So watch out for that on BNB. You really need it to pop higher in the coming week or two. Otherwise, it's going to be breaking down this trend and probably consolidate for more time. And potentially, you know, be making a deviation up here and come below this horizontal level. That could be spelling a lot of concern for the long-term price action, it could bring it all the way down towards this trend line at some point into 2023, you know, so that's quite concerning, I guess, maybe not. Okay, so that was that BNB thing I just wanted to notice, because on the weekly price chart, you don't really see it. You don't see that double topping. So that's something you want. You really want the price to go higher in the next week or two for sure. Okay, something to consider on BNB. All right, and now we were looking at NEAR at some point. Let's take a quick look at NEAR. Rejection off the 20-week moving average, making its way back down towards this horizontal level. Likelihood of breaking down towards this lower level and even below that is seems good likelihood. So we're going to see what ends up happening. But yeah, it looks like weakness in the NEAR price chart. At least it's going to need sideways. If it can sideways consolidate here at higher lows than these, then that's even better than solid. That's amazing. But it looks like it's probably going to make its way down. And let's draw out a bit of a local downtrending resistance force. Let's see. It'll probably follow something like that. Okay, that's NEAR. Maybe it jumps over. Good for you. That'll be nice to see. Always like getting surprised because the price action can do whatever. There's no guarantee. Here's a Dogecoin. This channel is doing decently. I mean, you had volatility above it, but it couldn't close above there on the weekly. So it looks like more weakness on Doge. Is it going to hold this 20-week moving average as support? Maybe not. Maybe it's going to break down further. And then you really would like to hold this horizontal level because you already retested what you previously had here and you held it. So if you got to retest it again, you're probably going to break down below, and then you're really hoping you can hold this as support. So this is the BTC price chart. We're looking for some horizontal accumulation against Dogecoin, and here is the beginning of 2023 in purple. So you don't have that much time left before you reach 2023. And what is your price action going to be doing then? Dogecoin against BTC. All right. Well, I think we'll have one left. We had looked at the TRX as well prior. And where are we here on the weekly? Oh goodness, isn't that cool? Yeah, broke down the uptrend and then tried to retest it, but didn't quite make it. My sense is more time to consolidate. We can get rid of this now, but you are still above the Ichimoku cloud. If you're the price action, you're above it. And you're still above the 20-week moving average. Now the question is it's going to just take some time for the price action after moving up so strong to then move down, move up, but make a lower high, move down and do something and break down. Like when does it break down and where does it go? And does it even hold this trend after breaking down Ichimoku cloud like that? You're probably going to come down here again. But then you're not only you're retesting what has already been retested, and it's less. It's more concerning. So if this can be part of a bigger long-term accumulation, then all of this should somehow hold and you can go higher. I guess you could still go lower and make it a longer term, longer term accumulation if that's what it needs to be against the BTC. Totally possible. But anyway, so that's the TRX price. It's looking like it definitely needs to, it really needs to hold at these kind of horizontal levels. Otherwise, got further moves down to the downside, which it looks like the price is coming down towards this level. So it looks like it might break down the Ichimoku cloud. But anyway, good luck out there for the TRX against the BTC. And I think that's it. Anything else? You want to see the XTZ? I know some peeps love the XTZ. So let's take a look. Ooh, still crawling on that horizontal level. At least you reclaimed it from these lows, but relatively weak. So I think we're going to leave it there. XTZ, it's at least holding that support, but if it starts breaking below that, then that's more concern. Okay, I'm done for now. Thank you very much. I hope that you've enjoyed this. And until next time, wishing you lots of love, peace, and happiness. Goodbye.